And here, and we are actually cooking right now, getting some black beans going, and we are gonna work on some veggie burgers tonight. So I've got I got a couple things that I want to do. I basically want to for one thing, I want to show you how I make my black bean veggie burgers, and we'll be adding some greens to it. I bought some kale, and also we got some broccoli. So we got just a bag of kale here, and some broccoli crowns or florets here. So we're gonna add some of those in, and it's not the best brand or anything, but it is veggies, and I'm gonna add a few other ingredients. One of the binders that we use is oats, so we're gonna use some of these oats in here as well. So we'll be using oats. Also, we'll be using our food processor over here. So I need to, I'm just going to clear up a little section, little area here for us to work. And that way we can do some blending up of the foods here. So, and also I'll probably we'll talk about a few things about the other alternatives. So the main reason why I'm doing this tonight is because I was watching a video last night by Lead Farmer 73, and you know, I really love what he has to say and share most of the time. But there are times when he's sharing some things and I was like, I don't know about that or whatever. But he was sharing some really good information about how to become, you know, more health conscious, health wise, and he's trying to teach people on how they can get away from eating meat. You know, especially in this day and age, a lot of individuals are talking about, you know, going vegan, going vegetarian, eating eating a plant-based diet more so, and things like that. And so there are companies now that have come out with these meat alternatives, and they've figured out how to create these lab created foods, you know, man-made, lab created, you know, like mad scientist kind of foods, and they're recreating things that are, you know, kind of you would find naturally in the world of nature, and but yet they figured out how to like take the structures, the DNA of certain things, and then multiply it, you know, in a lab. And so you know, there's a lot of information. There's this stuff called what is it called, hemoglobin or something like that. It's some weird stuff that they talk about on what's in the foods and how they make it to where it's very meat like, I guess. And so yeah, I want to kind of share some information with you on that, and how they, you know, they've done some studies, and I've watched some videos on some of the studies and stuff, and you know, it seems relatively safe, right? It's been FDA approved, right? Which we all know FDA approves quite a few things, and then when they're done, you know, after they've approved some things, sometimes we have issues, you know, with certain foods, certain medicines, different things like that. So, you know, a lot of stuff has been okayed and approved, and then it's been recalled. So we have to be really careful and cautious about that. On, you know, we don't know what the long term effects are on some things that they've been saying is safe and effective, and then we find out, oh, in hindsight, it may not actually be too safe and effective. You know, I don't know how many, what is it, like 2 billion or $3 billion in lawsuits that have been paid out because of certain things that have been FDA approved, and then were recalled. So we have to always keep that in mind, that there's like $2 to $3 billion worth of lawsuits because of these FDA approved foods and medicines and things like that. And then they find out after, 10 years, 20 years, it wasn't the best idea. So I want to share with you a couple videos here. So this video may be a little long because, we're going to be cooking. We're going to be going through a whole entire process here, starting from scratch. But I also want to get you guys some information. And I think I found a couple really good videos that will help to explain just exactly how they're doing this lab creation, the lab meats and all these things. And it's really weird. To me it's weird. Anything Frankenstein like that I find kind of weird. But then at the same time, there's certain things that in our lives we've been able to figure out and extract certain medicines or certain things and be able to use them in a whole nother way or another light, right? So, their science is good, and sometimes science can be bad, and I'm not saying that all science is bad. I'm saying that, it's good that we have these long-term studies before we just start pushing this onto the masses. And so there's a video that we're going to watch right now, and it's going to talk about the different foods and things on what they're doing as far as, making all these plant-based alternatives, meat alternatives. And I'm letting the beans cool right now because they're in a pressure cooker, and I wanted to check them just to see, did I get them cooked good enough, or is this not gonna work at all? And I'm just gonna show you some video, and we'll do this tomorrow. So let's find out here. And sorry about that, I'm running water over here. Not a very good water protector right there. But I want to check out this this thing does not fit in here. Well, that is not the best thing here. Okay. All right. I'm going to get a spoon here to just see. Oh, look at that. These beans are nice. Look at, ow, it's hot, hot. Yay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Great. Wonderful. So, let me share with y'all what we got going on here. So, we got this big old pot of beans right here. And the black beans, they look like they are cooked really, really nice and soft. Fully cooked all the way through. So what I did was I added some beans in here. I believe I took some photos of that and how I go through it. You got to hand pick through the beans. You want to make sure you get rid of, like I get rid of all these little cracked ones. And you also want to look for like rocks. Sometimes when they're harvesting the beans, they'll put rocks in the bag, and you don't want to be cooking rocks down. So you always want to hand sift or go through your beans and make sure that what you're putting in is really good. So we added a little bit of salt, a little garlic, and a little cumin powder. If I had oregano, I would definitely put oregano in there, but I don't have oregano, so we're going to keep it really simple. I'm going to basically pour out majority of that of the bean juice, which you can use. Sorry about that. You can use bean juice for other different ingredients, different recipes and things like that. I don't have the room or space to do so, so I'm not going to save the beans here. I'm just going to do my best to just get on with it here and start cooking some black bean garden burgers. So, I was talking about why I'm doing this video. So I was watching a video, Lead Farmer 73. he's really awesome with all his different, survival, how to, um, advice, recommendations. He does a lot of stuff where he's got product, right? Like me, I'm not monetized. I don't make money off of this stuff here. I share with you guys because I think that this is knowledge. Knowledge is power, and I'm just trying to empower you by giving you a little bit of knowledge for free. So, I don't try to ask for donations or ask for you guys to pay for my YouTube or anything like that. Whatever you get right here, it's just because I'm sharing it with you. This is the glass man's world, and I feel like this is important enough to share with you. Just like Tesla said, it's good to have open source knowledge, and being able to share all these kinds of things with each other. And if we treat it as open source knowledge, we'll be able to expand our knowledge as a human race, as one collective, a lot faster than if we're just trying to be competitive about our knowledge. And like, I've paid for this tuition, I pay for this scholarship or whatever, so I'm not sharing any of it with you. If you want to learn, you have to go to school, or you got to do this. It's like, if we can all just get to a point where we're expanding the knowledge out, we'll be able to get a lot quicker and a lot further advanced as a human race. That's just what I got to say about that. All right, so I need to get this pan ready to go so we can cook up a whole bunch. So we got our copper, it's a grill, it's a griddle. I love the flat top cooking on this. I really, really do love it. It's amazing. And just going to clean up the griddle here because we used it the other night. Just want to make sure it's just clean good enough. So I'm going to play a video here. And as we're playing it, I'm gonna just set you guys up in front of the screen. I'm gonna play this video, but I'm gonna continue doing stuff over here in the kitchen, getting things prepared and ready, so you're not having to sit here the whole time. I had to go do a bunch of things. I had to run, and I thought I was gonna have more time to get this done at 7 o'clock. It's already 9 o'clock, so it's 7 o'clock somewhere off the Pacific coast, I guess. But yeah, so we'll be eating by probably 10 o'clock tonight. Also, my family is not here. They went out to go spend some time with some friends. Basically some, our friends, our family, extended family. And yeah, they're having a good time. I don't even know when to expect them. I'm just going to cook up some food here. So right now we're just using the Norwex like always, with just the water. Because water is life. Alright, so I'm going to put this on the stove here. And we're going to get this griddle nice and warm, preheat it. And we're going to start mixing up some things here. Okay. But first, before we because I still gotta get things all prepared. So before this happens, I want to show you guys this video here, and hopefully I can set you guys up in a good way. Let me see if I could just pull out these legs here, and we can just figure out how to kind of get y'all set up here in a good way. Might be a little crooked. All right. So, and I really just want to make sure that you guys can see hear the audio. All right. There we go. So we'll play this video for you here, and then you can choose for yourself on if this is something you want to do. So this is about Beyond Burgers right here.
The Beyond Burger tastes like a delicious beef patty, but it's got more beets than beef. Out of the 18 ingredients listed on Beyond's website, some are familiar, while others are a little less so. Keep watching to discover what you're really eating when you bite into a Beyond Burger. There are 20 grams of protein in a Beyond Burger, the same amount you'll find in a regular beef patty at Burger King. In the Beyond patty, much of that comes from pea protein. What is pea protein, you may ask? It's not peas exactly, but rather an extract of the proteins in split peas. This makes it a vegetarian and dairy-free alternative to animal protein, and a popular ingredient for vegan protein shakes and protein bars. Pea protein's nutritional benefits include 9 essential amino acids.
Hold on, real quick. So before we continue in, I just want to mention that pea protein, peas are legumes, legumes, peas, things like that, dal. They are from a nightshade plant, and the nightshade plants contain. Oh no, I can't even think of what it is, but it for some individuals who have issues with nervous systems and pain with nerve, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, things like that, they're unable to eat nightshades. So that's one thing that we have to be real careful and cautious of, is that the pea proteins, I heard that cooked peas, the human body can consume very easily, but uncooked peas, if they're just grinding up uncooked peas and turning it into a flour, like a pea protein, and not cooking it, our bodies can't digest it very well, and it's actually not very healthy for us. All right, just wanted to add that.
Although it's not a complete protein source. Unfortunately, extracting the protein from the plant results in leaving behind some of the good stuff, like magnesium, folate, and potassium. The other legume in a Beyond Burger is the mung bean. Despite its funny name, this little green gem of a bean is a powerhouse of nutrition. It contains lots of fiber, nutrients, and vitamins, and helps regulate blood sugar. Even in its extracted form, mung bean protein can help control blood pressure and is linked to increased brain development in infants. The non-legume protein in the Beyond Burger is brown rice protein. Along with the pea and mung bean, this makes the Beyond Burger a complete protein source, containing enough of the 9 amino acids that are required for optimum health. Other plant-based sources of complete protein include the likes of buckwheat and soy. Soy in particular is a common ingredient in veggie burgers and is found in the Impossible Burger, Beyond's biggest competition. But the Beyond Burger is unique in that it's a plant-based meat alternative that's completely soy-free. Although soy has its own health benefits, it's also pretty controversial. As Beyond Meat CEO Ethan Brown told CNET, consumers don't like soy, whether it's because the milk board's doing a really good PR job or what, I don't know. But consumers don't like soy, and that made everyone's job here really hard. Brown rice.
So one thing about soy is the fact that, they pushed it out there, in the 70s, the 80s, as a new healthy alternative, as a protein source. And then they find out later on that, it's messing with people's, it gives them a chemical imbalance, too much estrogen, lowering of testosterone, things like that, to where it's not really healthy and beneficial for us to be eating those sorts of foods and things like that. And so having soy every once in a while, getting some a little bit of some tofu in or something like that, it's not going to really damage you and hurt you. But if you're doing it all the time over and over and over, it can really lead to some health issues and chemical imbalances. So that's one thing that we have to be careful with this new food, because they don't have the long-term studies. So, but I'll let you keep on listening.
Protein provides a way to increase protein consumption while avoiding the red and processed meats that researchers at the Harvard School of Public Health have linked to chronic illness and cancer. It's also easy to digest and suitable for lactose intolerant people. The brown rice protein also serves to make the Beyond Burger coarser and more meat-like. Plant oils might sound more like something you'd put in your hair rather than eat, but canola oil gives the Beyond Burger a juicy, fatty flavor that mimics that of a meat patty. This dripping of plant oil simulates the way that a meat burger bleeds beefy juices when it's pressed down or bitten into. These plant oils also keep the burger moist while it's being cooked and help it retain its ground meat-like texture. Also keeping the Beyond Burger moist is sunflower lecithin. Lecithin is an emulsifying agent that helps bind together fats and non-fats, and using sunflower lecithin instead of the more common soy lecithin is another way that Beyond maintains a soy-free and GMO-free product. In addition to canola oil, the Beyond Burger also contains solid plant fats such as coconut oil and cocoa butter in its latest.
One thing is that canola oil, we've found that that's not really the best healthy fats or oils for us, and it's better to be eating with the coconut oil, which they're adding some coconut oil here, but it's really for just a little bit additional flavor and to make it look like it's meat with fat chunks in it. So, but then when you cook it, all the coconut oil melts away. You don't see any of those fat chunks or anything like that. But just canola oil is not good for you. We normally cook with olive oil, coconut oil, things like that, grapeseed oil, hemp oil, stuff like that. All right.
Iteration. In June 2019, Beyond announced that they created a new meatier burger with mouth-watering marbling that would not only melt like beef fat, but further tenderize the meat as it did so. While these solid plant fats add to the juicy texture and taste, the refined coconut oil and cocoa butter are also used to create the illusion of small white flecks of fat dispersed evenly throughout the pink fake meat protein. This makes the act of cooking the Beyond Burger more similar to flipping actual beef patties, adding to the overall sensory experience from grocery store to kitchen to dinner plate. With the addition of coconut oil and cocoa butter, it's worth noting that the Beyond Burger isn't free of saturated fats. Its 6 grams of saturated fats are 30% of the daily recommended intake, which concerns some dietitians. But compared to a regular beef patty, the Beyond Burger has 25% less saturated fat, and all the saturated fats are still from plants.
Let's just take the amino acids, the fats, from another source and recreate those. We're taking the animal entirely out of the equation.
The Beyond Burger is not carb-free, although its total is low at just 3 grams. A beef burger patty, on the other hand, is completely free of carbs. While many meat alternatives looked for meat-like structure in plant proteins, Beyond took a different approach and chose to build their product component by component. These components include texture, fat, flavor, aroma, and appearance. To maintain these different layers of texture and flavors, something is needed to act as a glue. That's where methyl cellulose comes in. It's a chemical compound that's not naturally occurring, though it's quite common in a lot of food. It makes up less than 2% of the total weight of a Beyond Burger patty, but it's nevertheless vital in forming that fake meat into a patty.
I don't know what the heck that stuff is.
Potato starch is used as a thickening and binding agent, and that's where those carbs come from.
Sweet potatoes would be much healthier.
They allow the burger to hold its shape all the way from production to first bite. One other
potato starch isn't the best for you.
Both methyl cellulose and potato starch is that they're gluten-free, meaning the Beyond Burger itself is also gluten-free. To try and replicate some of the vitamins and minerals you get from a meat patty, Beyond Burgers have both added calcium and iron. That added iron also serves another important function, as it makes the burger taste more like meat, or as Beyond puts it, it wakes up our taste buds with each bite. Besides the taste factor, why would Beyond go out of its way to add meat minerals?
This concerns
There are many
me.
potential health benefits to plant-based diets, but they come with concerns about the possibility of iron or calcium deficiencies. So some dietitians might recommend supplements to make up the difference.
I don't like the
Although whether
supplement.
or not these concerns are well-founded is still up for debate in the medical community. Some
Exactly.
doctors believe that the possibility of deficiencies is incredibly low, and that the bigger problem is actually the adverse side effects of these supplements. For example, Dr. John McDougall, a physician and nutrition expert, has noted, more than a half-century of creative marketing by the meat, dairy, egg, and fish industries
I don't trust
has
supplements.
produced fear
You
surrounding
get your
non-existent
natural
deficiencies.
minerals,
In other
vitamins,
words,
and
while it's
nutrients
nice
from
that the
food.
Beyond Burger
not from
provides
supplements.
8% of your daily calcium and 25% of your daily iron, you probably don't need it. The Beyond Burger contains added salt, which can make it a problem
I'm all
for
about
people on low
smoothies
sodium
rather
diets.
than
While the
juices.
sodium in a
so you get
typical
all that
beef
fiber
patty is
with your food.
75 milligrams, that figure in a Beyond Burger is 390 milligrams. Salt enhances the flavor of the
Lot of
Beyond
salt.
Burger, and it's not uncommon for many vegan and vegetarian products to have unexpectedly high salt content. The Beyond Burger also contains potassium chloride, which is a common salt substitute that's sometimes used to lower the amount of sodium in food. It's generally considered safe for the average adult population, and as long as its use follows safety guidelines, it's a safe way to replace larger...
Generally considered safe, and as long as it's consumed safely. You hear what she's saying, right?
Substitute that's sometimes used to lower the amount of sodium in food. It's generally considered safe for the average adult population, and as long as its use follows safety guidelines, it's a safe way to replace larger amounts of sodium chloride.
I wouldn't
But
trust
for
that.
people with kidney problems, consuming excess potassium chloride
Right.
can be dangerous as the body is unable to eliminate excessive potassium. For the most part, though, while the Beyond
So
Burger is
having potassium chloride, and it just said your body can't really eliminate the excess potassium, would you really want to eat this?
in sodium, it's still below the American Heart Association's recommendation of less than 1,500 milligrams per day, and the potassium chloride amount is safe as well. After creating the proteins and fats that make up the bulk of the Beyond Burger, the next step is to focus on the taste. This is where the natural flavors come in. These are what give the Beyond Burger its signature meaty taste and umami. According to a Beyond representative who spoke with Mashed, there are some 1,000 molecules that make up what we recognize as the flavor of a beef burger patty. Fortunately for a vegan meat company such as Beyond, the same flavor molecules also exist in plants. For example, one of those flavor molecules in beef is also found in parsley, according to the Beyond representative. But that doesn't mean you can have a parsley and voila, it tastes like medium rare steak. Obviously, it's a much more scientific and complicated process than that. What Beyond does is go through these 1,000 flavor molecules, isolate what they are, and then search for the same ones in plants. Then they slowly build them up, flavor by flavor and molecule by molecule. If all goes according to plan, eventually they come up with a combination that mimics the taste of beef. The Beyond Burger
molecule
combination
meats.
is quite specific and very secretive. Flavor making, whether it's for the Beyond Burger or any culinary concoction, is a very competitive industry, and the recipes tend to be a well-guarded point of pride. We don't just eat with
All right,
our
you
mouth.
guys. So I don't know how much more they got
We also
to
eat with
say.
our eyes, and that's no exception for the Beyond Burger. It's almost indistinguishable from ground beef in the grocery stores, and in fact, it's usually sold alongside the ground meats instead of with the other vegan meat substitutes. But there's one problem.
Yeah.
A raw burger patty and a cooked burger patty look nothing alike. While one is a soft pink mush, the other is a brown caramelized disc that can hold its shape. How can a product that's not actually meat replicate the way meat looks both before and after it's cooked? The secret is
The secret is apples.
If
What?
you've ever sliced apples, you've seen how quickly they turn brown when exposed to air. By adding apple extract to its recipe, Beyond was able to make its proteins brown in the pan just like ground beef. This
Okay,
not
having
only
apple
makes the
burgers.
finished product look more like beef,
I
it
didn't know
also
that.
makes the cooking process feel a lot more like cooking with beef. It's worth noting, though, that the Beyond Burger's success in replicating meat is a bit of a double-edged sword. This has led many vegetarians and vegans to opine that the Beyond Burger is too similar to meat in its taste, texture, and appearance. But this only makes it more popular with meat eaters.
It's crazy because it really looks like
It does. It
real
totally
meat.
looks like real meat.
Well,
Okay, so one thing that I gotta say is, as a vegetarian or a wannabe vegetarian, I don't really care whether it looks like a steak, looks like a hamburger, looks like real chicken, as long as there's protein in it and it tastes good. I can eat just a whole entire bowl of veggies and not worry about, there's no meat in it or anything like that. It's the meat part of it is not necessary, but with most individuals who live in this day and age and they eat meat, consume a lot of meat, they want to try to find something that's a healthier alternative and also satisfies their carnivorous cravings of being able to bite into a bloody steak or a bloody burger or things like that, So they're going to talk about other things. So they use apples for the brown.
Beyond's biggest competitor, the Impossible
Pomegranates and
Burger,
beets.
uses a patent.
So they use the pomegranates and the beets to dye it
product called leg hemoglobin to give its burgers a meaty taste and bright pink color.
Oh,
the Beyond Burger looks to other
the leg hemoglobin. That's right. The leg hemoglobin. That's a very weird thing, and they're processing it in the lab.
to give its burgers a meaty taste and bright pink color. The Beyond Burger looks to other cosmetic solutions. By extracting the color from beets and pomegranate, Beyond is able to create a dye to turn dull grayish-brown plant proteins into a more appetizing meat-like pink. The company also uses other colors, including green and brown, for a more natural-looking pink. This type of food makeup might make some uneasy, but the reality is that a lot of foods on the market today have been spruced up for the grocery store limelight. The reality is that humans are visual creatures, which makes us easy to manipulate when it comes to food purchasing and consumption. But are these color additives harmful? NYU food studies professor Marian Nessel has written on her blog Food Politics about the issue of artificial coloring in plant-based meats. She admits that while uncolored gray burgers would be a hard sell, she's still not a fan of the fake colors, no matter how supposedly natural they may be. As she put it, "One of my personal food rules is never to eat anything artificial. These products are off my dietary radar." Overall, Beyond argues that its product is created with optimal health in mind, though some critics believe that it's too processed with too much salt, coloring, and artificial ingredients. But it at least offers clear ecological benefits. Compared to actual meat, the Beyond Burger is undoubtedly healthier for the planet, and it's pretty tasty as well.
A new way of making beef, literally cutting out the bull.
Check out one of our...
All right, so that's it there. This is by a channel called Mashed on YouTube, and so I'll make sure to give them a thumbs up. And if you wanna check them out,
Tipple to tantalizing T-bone, we need to
I did not mean to click that. Sorry, but they're called Mashed right here, as you can see. So if you want to give them a like, go on ahead. And that video was called. Let me show you the video. Here's what you're really eating when you eat a Beyond Burger. So that's the title of the video there, and we'll make sure to give that a like. And also I want to share with you this video as well, which has Dr. Kendi Berry MD, and he talks about the health concerns of the leg hemoglobin and other potential concerns and things like that. So this is another 10-minute or 11-minute video. But before we get into that, I want to basically take you guys back in to the kitchen now, and we're going to start doing our cooking and everything here. So I could maybe have him in the background. You know, we might be able to listen in on the video and stuff, but I think we're just going to get to cooking here and making some veggie patties, some black bean garden burgers for all y'all who are watching. All right, so let me try to sorry about all the movement. Give me one moment. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm back, guys. So we're about to get started here on how to make some black bean veggie burgers. So like I said, we already cooked up the black beans earlier. So we've got the beans here in the pot, and they're all ready to go. Somehow I was able to cook them in just enough time. I started these at about, what, 2:30. I cooked them, had to let them soak for a while. So by like 3 or 4, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to have these done in 3 hours? And somehow the pressure cooker got them done, cooked in 2 to 3 hours really nicely. All right, so that's the basis, right? So they're in these garden burgers that we've been watching and learning about with all the stuff. They use the pea base, the pea protein. So instead of using any sort of like a green pea, any sort of a chickpea, a legume, garbanzo bean, dal, any sort of like chana dal or urad dal or anything like that, we're just going to make it basic with just black beans. We're going to go black bean burger, and we're going to use veggies. So we need a food processor. So we got the food processor over here in the back. I'm going to move this pan out of the way. We don't need this here. And I may try to actually bring you guys a little bit closer here so you can see what's all going on. And this is going to be just like right off, the top of my head. I ain't really got a recipe for this at all. We're just going to make it happen. All right. So we're already 35 minutes into it. I just wanted to share with you guys all that weird stuff and then talk about what we're going to do instead. So instead of using the pea protein and all that, we're going to go straight up with black beans directly in the food processor here. So we're just going to get the black beans here, and I'm going to just keep it like this. We're not going to strain it or anything like that. We're just going to put some black beans directly in here. I don't know how much we're going to use. Like I said, we're just going to go off the top of my head, and we're just going to add black beans in here. Now, what I like to do when I make this is we will grind up black beans with the veggies, and we'll get it all mixed up. But also, we're going to put some whole beans in it as well at the end, so then you can get that texture of the bean. I really like having the bean in the veggie burger, and it's weird to call it a burger. It's more like a veggie patty, a black bean veggie patty. I'm not trying to make this taste like a burger or nothing like that. I'm not trying to mimic the flavor of a dead cow. We're not trying to do that in any way. We're simply just going to add some black beans in there. And then we're going to add some carrots. And like I said, I don't really have a plan on how much or any sort of a recipe. I'm just going to throw all this in just like this. Sometimes I'll cut these up or whatever. But I think that the food processor should be able to handle this pretty good. So we'll add some carrots in here. So we're going to add a little bit more, nutrients, vitamins, minerals. And then also we're going to use some broccoli florets here. And so we're going to just get these broccoli florets. We're just going to dump them in just like that. Bam. These are all ready to go. These are the pre-washed, pre-rinsed stuff here. So we just add a little bit. We don't want to add too much, right? And the main ingredient here is the kale. Now, it ain't the best brand. I know it's a Kroger brand kale. They actually, at the store I went to at Smith's, they didn't have any really good bunches of kale. I was really sad. Like, what? All I got's this? Alright. So we're going to add the kale in here as well. Alright. And we'll make sure we add plenty kale. You want to make sure you have a lot of greens, a lot of good veggies in there. Make it very healthy. Alright, we may have to add a little bit more. So I'll probably keep that out. And then another thing that we need that we add is the oats. So we got a brand new oats right here, but I'm going to add the rest of what we have in here. And the oats, this works as a binder. So they're talking about all this stuff with the binders and the hemoglobin and all this weird stuff, right? They're talking about adding iron and all this stuff. There's a lot of iron in your greens here. And I'm just going to mix that all up like that. Bam. So, you get your iron in there. And what else they're saying? Calcium? There's a lot of calcium in greens, especially in kale. And that's why I use a lot of kale, a lot of spinach, bok choy, chard, things like that. So we're always cooking with a lot of really good greens and veggies and stuff like that. So, all right, we're going to mix this up now. It might get a little bit loud. I'm not 100% sure. Let me find the lid here. We're going to mix this all up. So I'm just going to let this go here a little bit. We'll add a little oil in as well. That'll help out with getting this all mixed up. And I'm going to add some of that bean juice. You definitely need some of this bean juice in here. I'm going to just get a cup. Screw the ladle. We're just get a cup of bean juice here, just like that. Yeah. Alright, so now with that bean juice there, it's going to really come through. And you're going to get a nice blend. You see that? Yeah. Alright. So we got that going. Let me see. Hold on. That looks pretty good. We're going to have to add some more oats now to make sure it's thick enough. And my wife is calling right now, so I don't know if it's interrupting or what's happening. I really hope we can get through this here. I'm going to add quite a bit. I'd say about at least a cup of oats in there. And this is going to work as a binder. I was also going to add some rice just because we have so much rice, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not because I've never really added rice into these, but it may be good since we have so much. All right, now the one thing that we're really missing is all the seasoning, so we're going to add some salt. And I don't know how much salt we're going to add. We're just going to add a little bit. And this is the pink Himalayan salt. So we're going to make sure we add some salt. We'll add some garlic powder here. I also add, usually, we add the liquid aminos, the amino acids. Here's a little cumin. Little cumin powder, little red chili powder. That'll help to bring out the spices. A little cumin. Oh, sorry, I mean coriander. We did cumin, that's coriander. We could add I don't know what else. Also, the Bragg's liquid amino right there. Oh, nice. And I see that that we have the kids are watching. So yeah, I actually just got started about 30 minutes ago. If you are on your way, just go ahead and let me know, and then I'll be able to come out and help you with the car seat. So my wife's watching, so that's my wife there. So we're gonna add the liquid aminos here, and then we're just gonna blend that up again. We make sure we get all, oh sorry about that, didn't even let you watch the beauty, right? People like to see that. All right, so now we got that all processed, right? So I want to kind of see. I'm thinking a little bit thicker. I think either we can add more oats, or being that we have all that rice, I'm just going to add some white rice in it, guys. We have leftover white rice, and there's so much of it, I might as well use it. This is going to work as a really good binder to hold it all together. They were using the brown rice, which brown rice is basically, you know, it's just whole white rice. You know, if you get rid of the outer shell of it, then you just have white rice. You know, if you grind up the brown rice and you get rid of the outer part of it, then that's all it is. It's white rice. Brown rice is white rice. So I'm going to add some of this to just help thicken it up. So let me just take off the lid here. And this will just help to bind it up as well. I usually only add oats, but I figure we got some rice here, and I wanna thicken it up. It was a little too liquidy for the texture and consistency that I'm looking for. All right, real nice. Okay, so now we're gonna get all of this into a bowl, and then we'll be able to, once we have this all in a bowl, then I'll be able to mix it all up. So here, let me try to just reposition y'all a little bit. We'll get the bigger bowl here. And the cool thing is, let me show you this real fast. See, once you make these, that you can actually then freeze them, which is really awesome. And you know, these are probably freezer burns, so I'll probably toss these out since you know, we're making new fresh ones. But there's like 4 patties right there. You can see how they look. You know, they look like they're just frozen little burger patties, right? Yeah, but they are so amazing. They're so delicious. I'm just gonna toss these out. And they've been sitting for, I don't even remember when's the last time I've made these. At least a few months. So, all right. So we're gonna pour all this out, like I said. We're gonna get all of this into this bowl as best we can. Let me get a little scraper here. All right, let me just it's so messy. Let me get this blade out real quick. Let's put that in the sink there. And then I can scrape all this out here. So sometimes, you know, just depending on what veggies we have on hand, sometimes we'll add bell peppers, we'll add zucchini squash, we'll add, you know, cauliflower, cabbage. You know, there's all kinds of, all it is black bean and veggies. So whatever veggies that you like, you can just mix it all up. And also if you're thinking about like, okay, for nutrients, you know, you want to add in proper food, proper nutrient, right? And we move this out of the way here. So I can mix this right away. Alright, and then we'll just do a real quick clean job. Just get our Norwex Enviro sponge here. Bam. Get our textured kitchen towel here. And we'll wipe that up, clean it up, bam, put that away. We'll get this all nice and cleaned up, get the blade cleaned up real quickly. Just like that, bam. I love Norwex. Norwex is so amazing. It's one of those products where, you know, I could care less whether or not we sell it. As long as I got it in our own home to use it, like I could care less if other people buy it. Like y'all are missing out on this simplicity right here. Well, you want to make your dishes easy. You're missing out on the simplicity right here. Norwex. So simple. So quick and easy. Just like that. 1, 2, 1, 2. Bam. Just like that. Got the food processor already washed. Make sure you dry that center part. So the thing is we wipe it down with the water and the Enviro sponge, and then you get your textured cloth here, which is basically just another Enviro cloth, and then you just dry it, and bam, it's all ready to go. Boom. I'll clean up the top later. Let's get started here. So, like I said, I do want to add the little bit more beans here. So we're gonna add some beans for the texture. Here, let me just bring this down a little bit for you. So we're just gonna add the beans in just for texture, guys. Bam. So it's like half beans, all like, you know, mixed up and mashed in there, and then some more put in. Okay. You're hungry, huh? Right on. Okay, so now we're just gonna mix it up, just like this. Get all those beans all mixed in. See, Serena's already, she knows how good these taste. They are amazing. And you know, I'm not trying to put in any beet juice. I don't really like the flavor of beets. As a person who eats veggies and stuff, I don't like beets. Putting pomegranate juice in there, that's weird. Putting apples in there, or apple extract to make it turn brown, that's weird. You don't really need to do that. Watch when we cook this up. Let's see. Okay, so now we simply just get this here. We get the pan all set and ready to go. Let me move those beans out of the way for you. And we're simply just going to put this just like that. Boom. Right on the griddle. There's oil already put in here. We're not trying to add any fake fat or anything like that, like what they were doing with the Beyond Meats and putting chunks of coconut oil. Although adding coconut oil to this, oh my gosh, that'd probably be really, really delicious. And also, let me turn that heat down. We're gonna cook those a little bit too fast on each side. See, and it's kind of like, you know, just putting a little glop right there, and you're just like making like a pancake, you know, a veggie pancake, just a patty. That's all we're doing here. We're just making some patties, the black beans and the veggies, and that's it. So then you want to cook it really, really well on each side to make sure that the sides get nice and crisp before you flip them. That way they don't fall apart on you. And I'll just put away. Oh, we can leave that there. So you need a really good spatula, of course, to be able to flip it. I'll make sure this is all dried and ready to go. So yeah, now we're just doing the simple thing here on just getting these ready and cooking them up. I can smell that they're I can tell that they're getting really, really cooked on that side there. I can smell it already. So it's pretty close to probably needing to be flipped. I did make these a little bit extra thicker than usual. So we'll see. We'll see how this all works out and how it cooks through. All right, we're gonna let that cook a little bit longer. I can tell that it needs to set up a little bit more. So we're gonna get that side just cook a little bit better. All right, now one thing is we can keep on cooking these, and you can watch them cook. You know, it's kind of like watching water boil, or we can get back over here to the broadcast and figure out what's going on with this gentleman here and what he has to say and share about the Impossible Burgers and a possible and a dangerous ingredient known as the legohemoglobin. A legohemoglobin. Can you say that word? Legohemoglobin. All right. So let me just flip this around for you, and we'll try to get this set up again in a good way. This individual's name is Ken D. Berry, MD, and we gave him a thumbs up. I don't know if I want to subscribe to him or not. First time I'm really listening to him. So, but I found that his information was really good. All right, let's give this a play while we're cooking in the background over here. And let's see, what did the comment say? I want to try one right away. You're hungry. Okay. Oh, I already read that one. All right, I'll see you very soon.
I received a bit of negative feedback the other day from someone chastising me about bad-mouthing the FDA. To quote, the FDA would never approve a food additive that had not been proven safe. The FDA works very hard to protect us from unsafe food and drug additives. The conversation I had been having was about leg hemoglobin, that is the additive to Impossible Burger's ground beef that makes it bleed like real meat, has that bloody juice that we all love to sop up. And so I thought, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I jumped the gun on this. So I did some research, and this video is going to tell you the in-depth research that was done to prove that leg hemoglobin is safe for human consumption. So in case you're not up to date on this discussion, Impossible Foods has a product called Impossible Burger, which is made 100% of plant-based products. So there's no meat in an Impossible Burger. But for some reason, evidently vegans really love for their plant-based foods to look and smell and even bleed like real meat. I have no idea why a vegan would want a product that looks like it's oozing real blood. I can understand why carnivores would like that, but not vegans. At any rate, so I looked into this, and leg hemoglobin was initially discovered back in, I think, the 60s, and it comes from the root nodules of a soybean plant. Now, I looked for soybean root recipes and foods made with soybean roots, and I didn't find anything on Google or DuckDuckGo. So, to my knowledge, human beings have never eaten the roots of soybeans, especially the nodules on the roots of mature soybean plants. But that's where leg hemoglobin was discovered. Now, you'll see in the corporate press that leg hemoglobin, which is a contraction of legume, which is what a soybean is, and hemoglobin, which is a naturally occurring molecule in animal-based foods. Leg hemoglobin, they'll say, oh, it's exactly the same as the hemoglobin molecule in meat. But if you look at the two molecules side by side, you can see they're substantially different. They might resemble each other vaguely, but they definitely don't rhyme. They're definitely not exactly the same. And so, no, they're not exactly the same. There are multiple differences in the molecular structure. And so, Impossible Foods, they're not going around digging up millions of soybean roots. What they did was they sequenced the genome of leg hemoglobin, and then they taught a fungus called Pichia pastoris, which we discovered in the 1960s. They taught this fungus to make leg hemoglobin so it can churn it out by the thousands of gallons in a chemical laboratory or chemical factory. And then they use that as an additive to their Impossible Burger so that it bleeds just like real meat, even though vegans are repulsed by real meat. So that's a little backstory on just what leg hemoglobin is, and I still don't understand why vegans would want their plant-based foods to bleed like real meat. But so then I looked into the research. Okay, what research was done proving that leg hemoglobin, which is something that human beings have never, in our entire existence on this planet, we've never eaten that before.
Never.
And I think that's an important question. And obviously my critic that I quoted earlier, they think that the FDA looks into all this stuff and proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that something is safe for human consumption before they would ever add it to their GROS list, which is generally regarded as safe for human consumption. And so I looked into this, and in 2015, Impossible Foods applied for the GRAS classification. The FDA had lots of concerning questions about leg hemoglobin, and eventually Impossible Foods, they just pulled their application or just closed the application process. They reapplied in 2017, and they had done some research in the meantime. And what that research consisted of was a 28-day study in rodents, in rats. And they fed the rats lots of leg hemoglobin and followed them for 28 days. And then terminated the study. Had unexplained transient decrease in body weight gain. They had increased food consumption without weight gain. They had changes in blood chemistry. They had decreased reticulocyte counts. They had decreased blood clotting ability. They had decreased blood levels of alkaline phosphatase. They had decreased blood glucose, and they had increased blood globulin value. So all those things changed from the control group of rats to the rats fed leg hemoglobin for 28 days. So in only 28 days, we noticed these differences. Now, you might think that the Food and Drug Administration would require long studies in humans, or definitely longer studies, 2 or 3 year long studies in animals, before they would give something a classification as generally regarded as safe for human consumption. Actually, the FDA, they don't want to fool with this, so they put it on the food manufacturer. They say, you do the research and then you report to us what you found. So they literally put the fox in charge of reporting that the hen house is safe. That is truly how it works at the federal level. And so based on this 28-day long study in rats that did show changes, but none of the rats died from acute poisoning. I guess we could say that. So leg hemoglobin is probably pretty safe. Even though humans have never eaten it, it's probably not going to kill you acutely like strychnine or ricin or something like that. But there has not been a single long-term study on the routine consumption of leg hemoglobin in human beings ever conducted in the history of science, to my knowledge. If I'm wrong, please put a link in the show notes below, and I will check out the study and I will correct this video. So no, the FDA did not ensure that leg hemoglobin, something that human beings have never consumed before, is safe for long-term daily consumption by human beings. And I think that Impossible Foods would love it if we all ate Impossible burgers and never ate real meat again. And they would love it if we ate Impossible burgers every day. So the implied goal of Impossible Foods is for us to all eat lots of leg hemoglobin every single day so they can make billions of dollars profit. But that has never been proven safe. Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's dangerous for human consumption. I'm saying that no, it has never been proven safe for long-term daily consumption in human beings. If that surprises you, then you might want to start doing a little research and digging into the FDA and how things like high fructose corn syrup and other additives that are in thousands of food products, how they get the generally regarded as safe label, even though the FDA did no research to prove that they were safe. So if you want to give Impossible Burger a try, I think that it's been proven by the 28-day rat study and by thousands of people who have eaten an Impossible Burger and didn't drop dead. I think we've proven that Impossible Burger, the leg hemoglobin, and the other unnatural additives that it contains, and there's a long list of them, I think we've proven it's not acutely toxic. It's not going to lead to immediate liver failure, kidney failure, or your imminent demise. But the problem is we don't know what's going to happen if you have an Impossible Burger every day or 3 days a week, or if you just stop eating meat and just only eat Impossible Foods, fake meat, for years and years and years, no one knows what's going to happen. In fact, you, if you choose to do that, will be part of the ongoing experiment. It's called post-market feedback. And so if someone does develop cancer or does develop kidney disease or does develop liver disease, it'll be up to their doctor to report that to the FDA, assuming that the patient and the doctor can make the association between, oh, I ate lots of Impossible Burgers and then I got kidney failure 5, 7, 10 years later. Then when enough of those cases are reported to the FDA, then they might act. This is
How are they going to be able to pinpoint that?
You remember trans fats. They're outlawed in most modern countries, and eventually the US FDA got around to making food manufacturers take them out over a 3-year period of time. Now they're not considered generally regarded as safe, but they were considered that when they were first put on the market, even though human beings had never eaten a chemically manufactured trans fat before in the history of the species. So we have a precedent that big food manufacturers will put something in their product and call it generally regarded as safe when it absolutely does harm long term to human beings.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't be comfortable eating Impossible Foods burgers every day for years and years, because I don't think that has been proven safe. I hope this video helps you understand a little bit more about the food world that we live in. This is Dr. Berry. I'll see you next time.
Right on. Thank you, Dr. Berry. Appreciate you. Appreciate that information. All right, you guys. So there you have it. It's just like that, you know. Hello.
Hello. Can you come get a sleeping baby?
Are you home? You're here.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I'll go get the baby real quick. All right, you guys. So let me just show you how the burgers are looking right now, real quick.
God, I'm hungry.
Okay, she's hungry. They're home. They made it in the amount of time that I'm still alive. Okay, so I'm gonna just flip this real quick, and then we'll go get the baby. So I got this one flipped already. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't burning while we were waiting on that 10-minute video. But as you can see, they're cooked really well. I wanted to also make sure that they were cooked a little bit longer because these are thicker than I've ever made them.
I know. Interesting.
Yeah, they're gonna be good.
Okay.
So like I said, guys, I'm not trying to make these look like a beef burger or taste like a beef burger.
They kind of look
But
like
I didn't say that. Someone else said that.
they kind of look like beef burgers. No.
Yeah, they just don't have all that extra oil and fat, right?
Yeah.
All right,
So
I'm gonna go get the baby real quick, but I'm gonna let this just cook right here, and you guys can watch it cook, and I'll be right back, you guys. Okay, let me get my shoes on real quick, and I'll go get the baby.
So, Zaza was saying because Regina was filling out a form for Zaza for childcare, and so Regina might get some funding.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, for that to help.
sister. All right, guys. So we're back. How's the cooking? You guys watching the food and make sure it's not getting burnt? All right. So we got the burgers going. They're looking really, really good actually, and we'll be eating here real soon. I'm just gonna start putting up some of the food here, getting the food processor put back where it belongs, and yeah, that's dinner right there. So in like an hour, I was able to cook for you, as well as being able to share some knowledge and information on how the Impossible Burgers and the Beyond Meats, how they're made, what's put into them, just to give you a little bit more in-depth information for yourself, so you can then choose on your own if you want to try any of that or not. I did try it. I did eat it. You know, I tried the Burger King Impossible Burger that they had there, and when I first tried it, I was impressed. I'm like, wow, they actually made it to where it kind of tastes like a burger, you know? And that's the weird thing is, you know, I don't really need it to taste like a burger. And so I did try the Burger King burger, and as I was eating it, then I looked up a video, and it was Joe Rogan, and he was talking about the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. Can you say that? Hemoglobin. And so the hemoglobin that they use in there is really weird how they make it, and how they create it in the lab and allow the fungus or whatever to then make it grow. Was it fungus or was it mold? I think it was fungus, and then allowing it to grow and whatever in a lab. So I don't know. If you want to try that stuff, you're welcome to, but that's the information for you there that I shared with you. And these burgers, that's pretty much it. It's really quick and easy. I have quite a few more to make, you know, and I don't know how much money that was. You know, we used a little bit of beans. You know, I cooked half a jar of beans. You know, I think one of those like 1 pound bags of beans, I think fits in here, maybe 2 pound fits in here. That's probably a pound right there. So it's probably 1 pound of beans, and I didn't use them all, so maybe half a pound of beans. With the carrots, the greens, the broccoli, the kale, the oats, a little bit of oil, the seasoning, the garlic, the cumin, the coriander, the red chili powder, the salt, the amino acids, the liquid amino acids, and then adding some whole beans in there at the very end, and creating this this texture here, where then you know, this is basically the meat patty. It's I have an issue with touching meat and the meat fats, and like I can't touch burger. Like, it's just gross. So if I ever do make burgers, I have a trick where I'll use like a plastic, and I'll get the meat, and I'll grab it, and then I'll make the patty like that, and then I'll just drop it like right onto the pan. So that way I don't even have to touch the meat, and I don't get all that animal fat and all that stuff in my fingers. But with this here, you know, like there ain't nothing in there besides the only oil I put in there was the olive oil. Everything else is just veggies and beans, you know. So I mean, you could theoretically eat this right now. The veggies don't need to be cooked. The beans are already cooked. The oats, I mean, you don't really need to cook the oats if they're just all blended up in there. I'm trying to think what else is in there. The rice is already cooked. You could technically just eat this like this. That's kind of crazy, huh? All right, so I'm gonna flip this over again. Just gonna make sure that these are, wow, those look good. I think they can actually stay on that side a little bit longer. Bring up the heat just a little bit. I think we brought it down a little too much. So now we're just gonna get some bread together. Or, you know, if you guys are at home and you have buns, you know, get yourself some buns. I have seeded rye sourdough. So that's going to be a very nice, I don't know, it's going to taste good. And then Serena, she uses the gluten-free breads. And and then she also uses the dairy-free cheese. So we'll have I don't know how to pronounce this. Do you guys know? Comment below if you know how to pronounce it. Is it day, like D-A-Y, Daya, or Daya? Daya? Daya. Daya come and one go home. Day. We said Daya and Daya and Daya. I don't know if it's Daya or Daya. But it's deliciously dairy-free. And this is the Mexican 4-cheese blend. You can see how it looks. It's good. I don't really, I prefer real cheese. I'm sorry. But I have to have real cheese. But we'll use some of this. And I'll put my cheese on. So I got the good cheese in the house. We got the Tillamook white, extra sharp white cheddar. So we'll just we'll get some breads. We'll get the mayo, the mustard. I don't use ketchup. I just use mayo, mustard, just like that. Some cheese, bam. You know, you could probably eat these without the mayo and the mustard, although that might be weird. Are we out? Oh, dang. You're out of ketchup. I don't know if we have any more. That's not something I always buy. I don't eat ketchup. We went through, like, we had 2 or 3 ketchups from, like, the barbecue a while back. What was that, from last year? Ketchup lasts forever. Ketchup's one of those foods that I think, with all the preservatives, all the sugar and everything in it, like, it'll last for days, for years, for months. All right, well, I don't really know if I need to keep this going and talk to you anymore. We'll do some last looks right here, but this is what the black bean veggie burgers look like. So if you were watching Lead Farmer 73 last night and him talking about eat up these Impossible Burgers or these Beyond Meats and stuff. Hey, yo, Lead, try this out. Give this a try. See if you really are a good cook. And everyone else who follows him, try this out and let him know. Dang, this was so quick and easy and simple. You know, without the 30-minute videos in between. I don't know. What did we do? It was like one of them was 15 to 17 minutes, and then there was another 10-minute video. So that's, you know, that's 27 minutes of time right there. So we could have had these done within 30 minutes and be in and out. Bam, just like that. So other than that, I don't have any more to tell you. I mean, if you want to hang out, we can continue cooking these and add some cheese. Ooh-wee. I'm gonna just flip these over one time. Yeah, they look, actually, I'm gonna flip them right back over because they look like they can cook a little longer on that side. You know, and the awesome thing about these, you know, a lot of people, they think, oh, that stuff looks like cardboard, or tastes like cardboard or whatever. You know, this is one of the most softest, most succulent tasting patties or burgers there ever is. I ain't even gonna lie. Like when you bite into it, just like, oh, it's like a creamy burger. I don't even know how to explain it. These things are so delicious. I don't know. You gotta try them. You gotta try these out. They're so amazing. This is a black bean veggie burger. Carrots, kale, broccoli. I think that was all, right? And then the rice, the oats, and all the seasonings. That's it. Bam. We could have added tomato to it. We could have added cauliflower. We could have added peppers, zucchini squash, you know, whatever kind of veggies you like. If you like collard greens, you can add some collard greens in there. Black eyed peas, you can do that. You know, one time I made a kachari curry burger. Oh my gosh, the kachari curry burgers, that was phenomenal. Have you ever had a curry burger, a kachari curry burger? Do you even know what kachari is? All it is dal. It's like lentils, like they're talking about with their burgers. Pea protein, lentils. That's all it is. Dal and rice, lentils and rice. Pretty much like what we got right here. Black beans and white rice in the veggie burger right here. I've never done the white rice in here before, so this is a first time ever kind of thing. I'm going to bring this heat up again.
Did you put cheese on it?
Almost. I got to get the other side a little bit more browned. Or I guess I can just put the cheese on this side here and then I'll let that side cook down. And we'll just call it a day. A day. We'll call it a day. What is stupid. Alright, and then we'll add plenty of cheese. And then to help this cheese melt, I put a little, like a cookie sheet on top, above it all, to like steam it. And that really helps. I have plenty of this cheese here. You know, the weird thing about this fake or dairy alternative cheese is it's really, really greasy. It's so weird, but what is it made out of? What kind of oil? Coconut oil. So yeah, so it's coconut oil. That ain't bad. So you just getting some coconut oil on your hands there. But yeah, check it out. We got those all cheesed up. And then let me get my cheese here. Bam. And then we'll leave those two uncheesed, as we'll probably just have to put them in the freezer. And I'll make another batch here in a moment. I wish I had some green chili, some fresh green chili. I do have green chili powder and I can put it on, but it ain't the same as fresh green chili. I gotta admit that green chili powder, it adds a bite, but it don't add that intense flavor of green chili. Like the succulence of the pepper. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's so good. If you eat green chili, you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have to figure out this whole slow pan down on this camera. I'm like, what's going on, yo? Why are you moving around so much? I thought I tightened you up with that kung fu grip. Alright, there we go. That's a little bit better. So yeah, like I said, then I normally just we cover it, but being that I want to get these bottoms a little bit cooked more, I'm gonna leave it like this for a minute. And we're just gonna let the cheese melt slowly on top like this, and then we're gonna put it in bread and we're gonna eat. And I'm gonna let y'all go because I don't need to draw this out any longer, guys. I really just wanted to share how quick and easy it is to make your own veggie burgers. You don't have to support Bill Gates and his Beyond Meats and his Impossible Burgers. You don't have to support the whole entire Great Reset agenda and them trying to feed us cricket protein and sneaking that into these foods, which I don't know if any of that cricket protein is in the Impossible Burgers or the Beyond Meats, but that's something we definitely need to look into. I just know that Bill Gates, he's now the largest owner of U.S. farmland, and for some reason, and he used to be the king of Microsoft, and then he became a philanthropist, getting into medical stuff. So now he's like telling everyone how to be healthy and stuff. Like, I don't know why a computer geek is teaching us about health and things like that. I guess that's kind of like a glass blower teaching y'all about health. I guess we can all wear different hats, right? But I just don't trust him because of he's all about making that money, and we all know who his father was and what stuff he created in the past, in the 1920s and 30s and things like that. And so, it's just good to know who you're supporting, who you are choosing to serve. So if you want to serve up some Gates burgers, by all means, more power to you. But if you want to actually empower yourself and learn how to create some amazing foods that are complete complex proteins and carbohydrates, all in one, is that all vegan, all vegetarian right there? As I don't believe that we used any egg, and besides my cheese on it, we could have called this all vegetarian right here. I'm trying to think, what did I put in that wouldn't have been? I can't think of anything. This would have been all vegan right here had I not added the cheese. And so with the cheese, it is what it is. Serena's got hers though, with the Dia. I don't know how to pronounce that. But comment below, is it Dia? Is it Dia? What do you think? Maybe I can look it up and we just find out right away. Okay. Cheese is slowly melting. I'm going to get my bread going and I'm going to let you go. Have a good night. Time to go smoke. All right. Love and blessings. You guys have a beautiful night. And let me know if you do ever try out this recipe. Comment below. Maybe even post up a video and let me know that there's a video on your channel. And I'll go and I'll check it out. I'll subscribe and everything. But let me know if you make them and if you try them out and what you think. All right. I'm out. Later. Have a good night.